What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ. So Ultra Instinct Goku just dropped last week. This character is quite a bit different than many of the other characters they have dropped in this game. He is a defensive kind of counter character with a lot of special rules. So I figured I would post an introductory lesson, if anything, of how to deal with Ultra Instinct Goku. If you like the content I'm putting out on this channel, please like this video or subscribe to the channel, or do both. It helps the channel grow. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So with that, let's talk about Ultra Instinct Goku. So he is, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, he's not the same as many other characters. He's a counter character that not only counters you on defense, but also in neutral. He has this walk, he has the stance movement, his special ki blasts, and how he controls space are pretty unique for this game, especially the walk and the stance movement. As far as neutral, he has three main things he's going to do to you that will counter you. One is the walk that we talked about before, this beats ki blasts. One is the stance flip. This goes through beams. And the last one is 6H. This is his counter, that's frame 4. He will teleport behind you when he does it. So as far as neutral, it's actually easier to talk about than anything else. So the main thing you want to aim for is you want to get to a spot where you can make it so that he can't react to your stuff and do this. So even though I had the CPU do this, moves like lariats or far traveling fast moves are really good against him because they're not going to be able to counter you outright. When he's jumping, he's a little bit vulnerable too, but not specifically to super dash, just to this type of fast movement in general. So if you try to super dash at him, he'll do this. This move is very good and easy to combo off of. It's frame 4, I believe. So he'll be able to hit your super dash and get a big combo. But if you have the ability to travel across the screen or even use a beam here because he can't use the stance movement in the air, then it's a good idea to use that to pin him down. So for example, on my team, I have a few things, like when he's jumping, I have this. When he's jumping, he has generally less ways to counter you outright. When he's actually an example of a character where a lot of his really strong things are on the ground. When he's on the ground, of course, he could like walk and stance movement for my projectiles, but I have this. So Base Vegeta, for example, has a very good complete toolkit for fighting Ultra Instinct Goku in neutral. This move is still a thing, but again, they have to basically guess when to do it. Okay, so next we need to talk about rushdown and defense, and this is probably the most important thing. So there are a couple other counter characters in this game. Hit, of course, counter character, but Hit, to be honest, doesn't use his counter so much on defense. Then you have Jiren, and you know, we all are familiar with the moves that he has and how his counters work. There are a couple of counter supers already in the game. The main one in my head that stands out is Cooler. Let's look at his tool set first on defense. So one, he has 7 frame jabs, so he doesn't have the traditional 6 frame jab that most people have. This is definitely a very purposeful choice. In Season 1, there were far more characters that had 7 frame jabs, and a lot of them got changed to 6 frame jabs. Generally, when you have a 7 frame jab, it is a prescient session. A lot of the things in this game are homogeneous, so that means like once one thing is in the game, it applies in many situations, like across the board. So all of a sudden, your overheads are +1 instead of even, your vanishes are +3 now, you get access to frame traps and stuff you don't have normally, just because you have a 7 frame jab and a 6 frame jab. So I think around Season 2, they basically made it so practically, but not every, but practically every character has at least one 6 frame move that you can do. So UI Goku does not have one. This is important. He also has multiple frame 4 reversals. So this is one, this is one. Those are the most important ones. And he has a DP, which is done with 2-2, like this. He has a parry super, right? And he also has the special knockdown tech, the reversal on Dragon Rush. So what do? Let's start with talking about defense. So you need to be at least +4 to deal with the majority of his defensive options. If not, he really can just RPS you, rock, paper, scissors, aka make you guess So for example, let's use this. Okay, So we know that this is functionally +2, right? This functionally +2, you can't cover all of his options. So he has DP, it's right, DP and parry, they both catch frame 1. He has multiple frame 4 moves. As we are already aware, a character with a frame 4 option can act here, in this case because only +2. And he has mash, and he has system mechanic stuff like backstep and stuff like that. So in situations like this, he's functionally advantageous. Even though you have plus frames, he just has way more options. If there's a couple of ways you could deal with this, you could just guess. Personally, and I apply this specifically to counter characters, you really don't want the counter character to be ahead in the guess, like to control the guess situation. The ideal is that you control the guess on the counter character, and we're going to revisit this later. Vanish and also like post 6M are great examples of it's not your turn anymore. It's definitely not your turn anymore. Again, you need to be basically +4. There's not a lot of characters who have access to this kind of thing. I'm thinking like moves like Bardock's Tyrant Lancer, moves like that, or like catching him in the air and then running up. Then you get to continue your offense. But if you vanish them or 6M, it's basically not your turn. Also, you would need to be pretty airtight with your mix-ups too, because he does have frame 1 and frame 4 options. So any type of like, let's say this type of thing. So I do block swing into assist, and then I try to like shimmy them a little bit to like catch their Dragon Rush tech. This is worse against Ultra Instinct Goku because he has just way too many options. In addition to the system options, he has all the options I listed before. That being said though, let's take a look at his individual options and some common guessing games they're going to try to force on you and how to deal with them. So first would be the Dragon Punch, just 2-2. So this was one of the first ones that people saw because it's super cancelable, so you can cancel it into the frame 1 parry super. You have Vanish as well, but you can actually deal with this with a little practice. So he has this, and we could do that as late as possible, okay? And then he also has this, right? Or he could just do nothing. So it is a Dragon Punch, so if they vanish, you can 2H, but the issue is that he has the parry super. But the secret is, and you can hear my inputs here, the cancel window is actually really small. You can't delay it for a long time. The recovery is -31, so there's a long time, right? You have to basically do the parry before the DP is over. So my personal recommendation is that when you block the DP, to dash. Here's an example of me covering all the options. I'll just run it 5 times. So there's 1. So we got him with the counter. 2. Oh, I 2H'd, but it's okay. It's okay. 3. There we go. 4. Got him. Got him. Okay. Dash, wait, either is fine. I personally like dashing, but you could just sit there. It's fine. The order will definitely be Vanish and then parry super and then nothing. So, just keep an eye out for the vanish, and if they don't vanish, wait for the parry, and if they don't, press a button. And then you should be able to punish it all the time. Of course, in regards to the parry, you could always just use a super to punish, just like this. So next, let's talk about his parry. So if you do a physical attack, it'll catch, there's nothing you can do. If you do assist call of some sort, you can make it whiff and get a big punish. If you do projectiles, you can either vanish cancel, or if you're using Ki Blast specifically, you can 2H. So his goal is really to make sure he does it on a physical attack. That being said, it is frame 1. If that is all blue life, so it is recoverable. So last is the special attack. This. It's pretty slow, and it's just like the DP. So when he is basically falling, he cannot super cancel anymore or vanish cancel. So you can use a very similar method to what I said before, either waiting or like dash blocking in order to cover all the options. So with this all in mind, how would you go about dealing with his defensive options? So as I said earlier in this video, when you put him in like +2 situations, even situations, stuff like that, it's basically his advantage. But when you knock him down, it really is your advantage. You do have to build setups just to beat him, but it definitely is possible. My recommendation is that if you can somehow do like a meaty projectile that is really advantageous, you can cover basically everything he does. So for example, here's Trunks against DP. See, I'm safe there. Next is Trunks against the counter. So same setup here. And last is Trunks against Unrestrained Will, the special reversal he has. So in this case, I was able to cover all three. The important thing, of course, is that you can cover the frame 1 options, because when you knock him down, you don't have to worry about the frame 4 options, because the assumption is you're going to meaty or at least like cover yourself somehow. Of course, you could do like say delay down into these things, but the nature of moves that are projectiles that are meaties is that you should be safe against delay down as well. Just like either get out of there, confirm the situation, do whatever you have to do. Okay, hopefully that made sense. This is just a general guide on how to deal with his defensive options and how you should be thinking about his defensive options. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.